Clashes erupted outside a packed concert hall in Amsterdam on December 14th, just as a performance featuring the Israel Defense Forces chief cantor, Shai Abramson, was getting underway, turning what was meant to be a festive Hanukkah event into a tense standoff between protesters and police. Dutch police later announced that they had arrested more than 20 people after prolonged clashes with demonstrators in the streets around the venue, saying the situation escalated when protesters ignored orders to disperse and began confronting officers head-on. Hundreds of protesters had gathered near the historic Concertgebouw concert hall during the performance by Shai Abramson, chanting slogans against Israel's military campaign and accusing the organizers of giving a platform to an official symbol of the IDF. The police statement read, and I quote, "The police intervened several times to keep the demonstrators at a distance and maintain public order." Unquote. Social media footage, widely shared and picked up by Israeli media, showed a tightly packed crowd chanting, surging forward and eventually breaking through a metal barricade, forcing police to rapidly reinforce their lines at the entrance to the hall. As tensions rose, protesters were seen grappling with officers in riot gear, while authorities responded with baton charges to push the crowd back, creating chaotic scenes outside what is normally one of Europe's most serene concert venues. At the height of the unrest, demonstrators lit and hurled smoke bombs that blanketed the street in colored plumes. And officials say at least one police officer suffered minor injuries while trying to contain the disorder and protect concertgoers. Riot police later reported that several of those detained were carrying fireworks and other pyrotechnics, and that many resisted arrest when officers moved in, adding to concerns about the level of planning behind the protest. The controversy had been building for weeks, with the Concertgebouw warning that it might cancel the Hanukkah event altogether over Shai Abramson's appearance, amid intense criticism of hosting a senior figure so closely tied to the Israeli military. However, after a wave of international backlash and accusations of discrimination against Jewish cultural events, organizers were effectively pushed into allowing the Hanukkah program to go ahead rather than scrapping it under pressure. To diffuse tensions, the main public concert on the afternoon of December 14th was held without Abramson on stage, a compromise reported by Israeli outlets as a way to keep the event alive while limiting the visibility of the IDF's top cantor. Even so, Shai Abramson did perform later in the day, appearing at two smaller, private evening concerts, where he sang for invited audiences under tight security, away from the large crowds that had gathered outside the main venue. The unrest in Amsterdam unfolded on the very same day that Australia was shaken by a major terror attack, underscoring how Jewish communities around the world were facing both street hostility and deadly violence during Hanukkah. In Sydney, the attack erupted at Bondi beach as an estimated 2,000 members of the Jewish community and their supporters gathered for a Hanukkah celebration, with families, children, and rabbis suddenly forced to flee as gunfire broke out near the festive stage. By December 15th, Sydney police confirmed that the deadly shooting was carried out by a father and son duo, describing how the pair arrived heavily armed, opened fire on the crowd and left a trail of devastation before being neutralized by responding officers. Shocked by the scale and targeting of the attack, the New South Wales State Premier ordered an urgent review of the region's gun laws, signaling that tougher firearms controls and security measures around religious events are now on the political agenda.
What's really important is to say that we do have a 24-year-old male in hospital at the moment. Based on his medical condition, it is likely that that person may face criminal charges. I'm very mindful of not prejudicing any prosecution of that person if they're put before the court.
Yeah, well, look, we're looking at that as we speak. I think it's time that we have a change to the law in relation to the firearms legislation in New South Wales, but I'm not ready to announce it today. We want to make sure that prospective reform and change in New South Wales has a lasting impact, but it's not the last time I'll be mentioning it, and you can expect action soon. And of course, a comprehensive investigation as to what went wrong. What could we do better? Is there better lines of communication? I'm not in a position now to criticise it, and I think it wouldn't be the right thing to do within 24 hours of this shocking, violent attack to be pronouncing failures here without the aid of an independent investigation. What I can promise is that's exactly what we will provide here in New South Wales. It's important that we get all the information on the table, and I want to make it clear we will act on those recommendations.
Our police responded promptly. Our police respond very promptly. We work closely with the Jewish community. We are very attuned with providing support to the Jewish community.